Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing holiday Swiss cube draft here. So this should be interesting. Well, Upheaval, notably one of the strongest cards you can pick up, since you just ramp a bunch and then you tap all your mana and play Upheaval, and then your opponent presumably loses when you replay a bunch of spells on their empty board. Kind of a dumb spell. They didn't know. They just didn't know how stupid it was, unfortunately. Spirit of Labyrinth. I didn't see this one in the last one. Well, you know me. I'm a big fan of aggro. That being said, I'm kind of tempted to take the Snapcaster if I want to play aggro. Maybe play some sort of blue-red aggro if I can make that work. Snap is certainly cool for that. Let's first pick the Snap. And remember, cube is very subjective. You can take it any direction you want. I just prefer to take this direction because I'm an aggressive player at heart. I'm just not a mid-ranger. I'm really not. Or a control player all that much. I can do it, if I practiced a million times with a deck, I could play it, obviously. But my mind always is, how can I beat down my opponent as efficiently, as quickly as possible? It's just how I always am thinking. What does this do? Artifact, creature, land. Tap them all or untap. Interesting. Pretty good. I think I'm looking at this Lightning Strike right alongside our Snapcaster. And Gristlebrand, obviously very good. This is a power cube, I'm almost positive. Guess we'll find out. Strike it is. I'm convinced. I certainly like to do aggressive decks, as I've said, so I hope that's not a turnoff for you, but it's the way it's got to be, folks. It's the way it's got to be. I like Ancestral Vision. Swords is good. Torch Fiend, this one's new, but I can see Torch Fiend being pretty good in this format. Depending on what card. I didn't look at the card list, I'll be honest. Did not look at the card list. Sower of Temptation is very good. Against any sort of blue-green ramp, you're going to want something like Sower. Torch Fiend is just a nice 2-drop, but it's a decent chance at wheels, I would think. I mean, Ancient Tomb's good if you got a high curve, but Ancestral is a little bit slow for what I'm trying to do. Amazing on turn 1. Not so good on turn 8 if you're trying to be aggressive. Johnny Vengeance also very good if I wanted to make 3-color aggro work. But I'm going to take this Sower. I'm okay with that. Stealing opponent's creatures, typically good. Okay, well, look at this. Electromancer. Interesting. This is for the Storm decks, which is in this format. I'm fairly confident. Could take the Dualcaster Mage. It's like another Snapcaster sort of value idea. It's more interesting to me than Arc Trail. Wait a second. Bazaar of Baghdad. Interesting. Little card disadvantage, but good if you need to filter. Or good in Dredge. Frantic Search, good for the Storm decks. I think I'm going to take this Dualcaster Mage. I'm interested. Would like to get some fixing. Well, there's some. There's also a Cackler in here, which is good. Avalanche Riders, pretty good as well. I'm going to take the fixing here. Get a little steam vents going on. More Storm abuse stuff. The Abyss is interesting. Let's go with steam vents. I do like Cackler quite a bit, but I'm going to take the land over it. Gutter Snipe, quite good. Daze is actually pretty cool. Grand Architect, it's cool, I guess, but I don't have any artifacts right now. I think we'll take the Gutter Snipe, although we only have the Lightning Strike to go alongside it right now. Could get more, though, and especially in blue. I actually think Gutter Snipe's quite good in a blue-red deck, since got Got the counter spells potentially too, or bounce. I do like daze, I will admit. But I'm going to take this snipe here. Well, let's see. Recruiter can find, well, every single creature in my deck, so that does seem pretty good. Spellskite's going to be really good against us. There's also Porcelain Legionnaire, which is a very nice beater. How badly do I want Imperial Recruiter in here? It's a good question. Helps me find a way to double a spell, a way to bring a spell back, a way to make our spells deal more damage, or steal a creature. All of those options are pretty good. Porcelain Legionnaire is going to be better if I want to play like aggressive creatures, which I kind of do since we haven't seen so much on the spell front. But I guess I'll bite. I'll take the Recruiter. It's interesting enough. Finding, there's an Electrolyze. There's quite the good spell to find. Buried Alive, new. Inkwell Leviathan, also new to this cube. Very cool. Electrolyze it is, though. Feeling that. Here's a Storm card. Table the Spirit of the Labyrinth, interestingly. I'm going to take the Empty the Warrens just from the Storm deck because I don't want to deal with it. Could take Olivia, who's okay on the splash, but not amazing. It's just basically a flyer that pings on the splash, which isn't that good. Domri, also not that good on the splash. I think we'll just take the red card, but not playing it. It's not what we're gearing up for. We're basically just trying to be red-blue value, all the value we can muster. Greater Gargadon's a pretty reasonable card. A lot better if you have any sort of steal effect, but it's a nice response to removal, and 9/7s can be tough to deal with. Palancron also is a card, but it's a way to go infinite with multiple mana. Revoker's not bad, I guess. Turn off activated abilities of, like, I guess I'll take the Revoker. Torchfiend tabled, which is good news for us. Slam that and play it. So suddenly Imperial Recruiter's like insane in our deck. Finds everything. Did get back the Electromancer, which currently just makes Electrolyze and Lightning Strike cheaper, but there may be more, so I guess we'll take it. Arc Trail's an okay card. It's not amazing. We kind of already got the Electrolyze, which does the same thing, slightly better, in my opinion. But yes, Imperial, and we tabled the Cackler too, that's cool. Recruiter could not find more creatures. It literally, you can find every single creature in our deck, so pretty amazing. Let's hate the Bloodline Keeper. It seems a little bit tougher to beat than the Necropotence. And last pick, an equipment that's probably playable. I haven't seen the other equipment yet, but I have to assume there's something like, hey, wait a second. Each player shuffles his or can graveyard into his or library, then draws 7 cards. This is actually pretty good. It is power 9 as well. Problem is it gives your opponent cards. And I have to think about it. See, I think I'd rather just take the Treachery because it's just bonkers. And that's kind of funny because I'm taking it over power 9. But here's the thing about Time Twister that's a bit of a bummer. We're not necessarily a deck that's going to be committing a lot of creatures to the board. If we just, you know, peed out our hand, then played Time Twister, it would be much better. But I'm having a little bit of an issue with it since we could end up getting more burn. I mean, it's good. It is good. I just don't like that it gives your opponent the 7 cards as well. And having Treacheries just seems insane. Hopefully table to Searing Blaze, I think. But yeah, I mean, Time Twister's power 9 and all, but I think I'd rather have Steel plus Steel for free, basically. I think I'd rather just have Steel for free. Here's a Goblin Guide. There's also Volcanic Island in here. We're pretty color intensive. I think I'm actually going to take this Volcanic Island, only because I'm a little less concerned about not having enough playables. Compulsive Research would be very good in here too, especially with the Snapcaster. But I'm going to take the Volcanic. I'm going to get a little bit more fixing that I don't think is going to table. If we weren't color intensive, I probably wouldn't worry about it, but we are pretty color intensive. Okay. Got a Frost Titan, which is a card I like quite a bit. Encampment is a creature. Repeal is good. Chainwalker's fine, not amazing. I don't have a problem taking Frost Titan. I mean, not exactly an aggressive card, I guess, but it's certainly good. I guess we're probably... I guess we're likely to just want the Chainwalker since it's a 2-drop creature. It's fairly aggressive, but Repeal is very good too. I like the Lightning Greaves, but not as much for this deck. Repeal being 1 cheaper with Electromancer shouldn't be overlooked either, but I do want a good creature count. I think I'm going to take the Repeal. I feel like it's more likely the Chainwalker's gonna wheel. Whether or not that's true, I guess we'll find out. Here's a Vidalcan Shackles, which is keeping up with this steel creature theme I guess we're going for. But it's pretty reliant on you having quite a few islands. I may just want it anyway. I mean, both the lands we have are islands. And maybe I lighten up on red a little bit. Guess it's possible. Mana Drain's pretty cool. It's a pretty good spell. I like the Rift Bolt as well. Gotta respect the burn. That's also removal. I'm trying to think what I'm most likely to table here. I mean, Hero of Oxid Ridge is also very reasonable. I think I'd take the Rift Bolt, but Mana Drain, I'm going to take the Rift Bolt just because I'm trying to be more aggressive, but Mana Drain is quite good. Delver, how many are we looking at right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4. Not enough to really make it all that terribly exciting here, so might have to take Searing Spear. Mana Crypt. Yeah, free mana ramp. It's tough to deny that, but it's not great in our deck currently. I mean, it's good, it's just not great. Goblin Vandal destroys artifacts if I want it to. That's interesting. Let's take the Searing Spear here. Goes nicely with our Snapcaster and our Electromancer and our Gutter Snipe. That's enough good things it goes along with for me. Let's get rid of this Manriki. I don't think we're main decking that. All right. Anything here worth mentioning? Yeah, Koth. Gotta go Koth, I think. Tough to deny that Koth is good, so we'll take it. Pretty glad we picked up these fixers since this works with mountains, so I don't want to play too much other stuff. Smash the Smithereens is totally main deckable and good, especially against the Moxen. Guess I'm tempted to take the Marauder just to make sure we get enough creatures in this deck, but I mean, we want a good amount of spells too. This is the only problem with Smash is really requires them to be playing artifacts to be playable. I mean, there's a pretty good chance they're playing some rampy artifacts, so Smash is certainly acceptable. But I mean, you need a good amount of creatures. You know what? I'm going to take the Smash against my Greater Instinct, which immediately just told me take the 2-drop creature. I'm going to take and main deck the Smash just on a hunch that it's going to be good in this format. That's how confident I am. Windswept Heath cannot find anything. I think we're just easily taking Char. Frenzied Goblin tabled, and it's a pretty playable card, so I think we'll take it. There's also Sulphurous Springs in here, but I'd rather have the Goblin. El Goblin. So far, deck's shaping up pretty nicely. I like the blue spells we have a lot. Stealing their creatures while burning them down seems pretty good. Interestingly, we tabled both Goblin Guide and Compulsive Research. That's pretty insane. God, I don't even know what I want more. They're really both that amazing. I mean, Goblin Guide is a one-drop beater, which is clearly good. Compulsive Research, excellent value with Gutter Snipe, with Dual Caster, with Snapcaster. But Goblin Guide's so cheap and efficient. Ugh, I'm taking the Compulsive. That was a tough pick. I'm going to take the Gorehouse here, since we did table it. Kind of as expected. But yeah, Compulsive is just so good. It's just such a good spell. Even over the most efficient Red Deck Wins beatdown creature I can think of, Compulsive is just that good. I think really the part that made it the pick is just how synergistically well it works with Electromancer, Snapcaster, Dual Caster, Gutter Snipe. There's just so many dudes it works well with. Tabling the hero is pretty awesome for us as well. Taking it and very likely playing it. This is 22 cards, so we can easily play a 17 land deck. All right, Delver's actually, you know what? Delver just got suddenly pretty decent in here, to be honest. I guess we'll take the Storm card. How good is Delver now? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's certainly good enough to make Delver work in here. So I like this deck. I think now it's just upgrades and cuts. So I guess... Geez, Boros Charm too? Nice. Already have a deck after 2 packs, and a deck that looks pretty good, to be honest, so I'm kind of happy with where we're at. I guess the first cut's probably Revoker, just because, I don't know, it's not necessary, I guess. Hey, what's up, Sulfuric Vortex? You're not a fair card. Yeah, Vortex is insane. Augur would be insane in this deck as well. I should probably just stop saying insane, because that is exactly what Cube is. It's just nonstop insanity. Memory Lapse actually seems really good too. I actually like that. It's a nice, efficient counterspell. And I guess we are sorely lacking counterspells right now. But yeah, easily taking the best Red Deck Wins card. Wait, I already said Goblin Guide was. I take it back. I'm going to go with Vortex. Let's see here. Incinerate seems like it's the pick. And I don't think we're playing 16 lands in this deck, so let's cut the Revoker. We could easily have a low creature count deck, but I'm not too concerned about that. I do want to take Incinerate here, and I guess I probably main deck it over the Smash, but I'm actually still really happy I have this Smash. I think it can do all sorts of work. Maybe I want to ditch the Frenzied Goblin. I don't seem like a deck that's beating down all that often, so 1/1 actually not going to be that great. And all the burn spells are going to be rewarded pretty highly alongside Snap and Dual Caster, so there's also Figure in here. But let's take the Incinerate. Well, there's a counterspell in here, which is very good, obviously. There's also Sulfur Falls, which I would very much like, and Magus of the Moon, which is... Wait, what's this do? Oh, interesting. Haven't seen that card before. Balance. Counterspell seems like it wants to be the pick. There's also Flooded Strand, which finds both of our lands, which might even be better than the Sulfur Falls. I don't know why, though. Why would it be better? Because... I don't know why it would be better. Would I just want the Sulfur Falls? I have no idea why I would prefer Flooded Strand to Sulfur Falls. Deck thinning? Does that make sense? So yes, Land Fix versus Counterspell. I guess since we actually have a deck already, I'll probably just take the Sulfur Falls. Well, Counterspell's too good. I'm taking it. Changed my mind. Counterspell's too good. There's a Fire Blast. Easiest pickup ever. Wait, Dak Faden. Draw 2, discard 2, or steal artifact. That's pretty good too. But I'm not going to deny a free 4 damage to your opponent's face. What are you, crazy? It does not work with Snapcaster. Keep that in mind. Or it does work, but you still have to pay the 6 mana. You may sacrifice 2 mountains rather than pay the mana cost. Yeah, because it gives it a flashback cost. But I'm still going to take the Fire Blast. And be happy about it. Hey, Batterskull. There's also a Bonfire and a Stormbreath Dragon. I kind of just want to hate the Batterskull, even though I've got the smash for it. I already have to make cuts. Probably not playing Hero. Not that he's bad, it's just I think we're much more down the path of being a burn deck at this point. With some cool upside cards. Yeah, Preordain's good too, obviously. Bonfire is pretty insane. But I don't know if I want to take it. Stormbreath's also very insane. Don't know if I need it. Wasteland, also very insane. But we're actually color intensive enough where I'm not sure I want that. And we're burning. I think I'm just going to take the Batterskull. Because I can play it against another aggressive deck or just hate it like I've done. Izzet Signet, I guess, is technically playable in this deck. It's just not really what I'm interested in, since our curve is not really that high. I guess I could hate the Hexproof dude. He doesn't seem like a guy I want to deal with. That's interesting. Metalworker, of course, also interesting. Yawgmoth's Will, something the Storm deck desperately wants. Maybe I just take the Will. I don't want to lose to Storm. Storm is obnoxious. Wow, Pyromancer is insane in this deck. There's also Mana Leak. There's also Exalted Angel, which I don't want to deal with, but we'll steal it. We'll just Treachery or Sower it if it comes to that. Time Vault. I saw the Voltaic Key earlier, so that lock is in this format. Let's take the Young Pyromancer. It's pretty tough to deny that card in this deck. Burst Lightning seems pretty easy. Curse Scroll is actually pretty good too. But I think we actually have to make some cuts now. Sideboard the Smash. And maybe we don't need the Cackler, even though it's a 1-drop. I guess I could play the Cackler over the Chainwalker, honestly. I'd rather have the 1-drop than the 2-drop 3/2. Maybe I cut the Cackler too and we just go way more burn with the Burst Lightning. I could get behind that. Arid Mesa, which does find both of our lands, so is actually very good for our deck. It's also Memory Lapse, though, which is pretty good. But actually, I kind of want this Augur, since it finds our burn, but I guess the Mesa is actually a pretty fine pick, since technically I could throw a white source in there too if I really wanted to get crazy. Figure, I mean, it's a good card. I don't think I'm playing it, because probably happier with everything else I've got. Spike Shot, not all that impressed. Cura, not bad, but not really interested in it. Figure, Sphinxes. Let's hate the Sphinxes. I'm not going to play Figure, I don't think. Magus of the Moon is a pretty nice... I could take the Battlefield Forge, because Battlefield Forge lets us pretty easily play Boros Charm alongside Arid Mesa and a Plains. 3 sources for 1 spell, but I think I'd rather take this Magus. This is going to be a pretty insane sideboard card, and there's Sulfur Falls in here too. Could just have the best mana ever. I'm going to take the Magus. I like the mana fixing, but I can see matchups where Magus could be insane. Dak Faden, sure. I don't think we're main decking that either. Preordain seems like a pretty awesome card. It's not card advantage, but fine stuff for us. I don't even know if we have space for it. Maybe I play it with 16 lands. I pretty much do need to hit my land drops, though. What's this card do? Jeez. It's a pretty insane card. So yes, we're like blue-red, burn, value, all sorts of different ways to get value. Low creature count, but that doesn't matter with the sheer quantity of burn spells and stuff like that. We ended up getting the Batter Skull, which is great news. We don't have to worry about playing against that. Even though we have the Smash for other potential annoying artifacts we have to deal with. Maybe we just don't play the Preordain, and then I leave the counter spell in, which can just be very valuable. How good is Koth? I probably don't need Koth. It's not that Koth's bad, it's just not exactly what I need. Let me separate my creatures and spells here. All sorts of spells. I do kind of want the Preordain with Delver, Snap, Dualcaster, Gutter Snipe, all those. Young Pyromancer. I guess I don't need to go through that entire list for every single spell in my deck, but that's actually even more reason to cut the Koth. It doesn't interact with any of them. Alright, cutting Koth. I like him, but I don't think this is the deck for him. So what's our plan? Well, burn our opponents, or steal their best creature, or fly over top of the Delver, or get him with a Sulfuric Vortex if we're ahead on life, which seems fairly likely. Is there anything I want to upgrade into? Like I said, I have the sideboard Magus, and how good is Recruiter in here? I mean, yes, it finds everything, but does that even matter? Basically, I can find a way to renew a spell. I can find a way to make my spells have more value, make my spells cheaper, steal a creature. I could almost play like another 2-drop creature and be more proactive, or even main deck the Smash. I really want to main deck the Smash, as you can tell. I just feel like we're going to be playing against some artifacts, almost assuredly. And it's not that Recruiter's bad, because he's not, especially in a deck that can do anything. We already have artifact removal too, I guess, with Torch Fiend. So the Smash, I guess, becomes a little bit less relevant there, but I really want to destroy something and make him take damage. Could play the Dak Faden. Dak's pretty cool. Good if I'm getting flooded. Do I like this 23 card deck? I kind of do. Do I want to cut the Recruiter, though, for something better? I don't have to. But how good is Recruiter? I mean, it's pretty good. My problem with it is it's not very proactive. It's a little bit slow. Even though it is good value, it's a little bit slow. I think that's my main issue with it. Could take the Dak Faden. I could see the issue with this since it doesn't deal damage like Koth does, or like some of our other guys. Could just play the Batter Skull just 'cause I'm playing 17 lands anyway. It's a pretty strong card. Can equip it to things and deal all sorts of damage. Could just take the Cackler because it's cheap. Pretty efficiently beats down. Torch Fiend's not a terribly exciting main deck card, but does take care of artifacts, which is I really do feel like going to be valuable in this cube. So yeah, I think my options are Cackler, Batter Skull, Smash. I'm doing any of those three. Main deck. We have actually, it's amazing how many pretty reasonable sideboard cards we ended up with. Manriki Gusari, you know, if I can't deal with equipment. Revoker for Planeswalkers. Magus for non-basic heavy decks. Recruiter if I need to find my Magus. Smash, though. Why am I feeling Smash so much? I don't know. I really am, though. It can just be such a setback. Against the Shackles or something. There's also Repeal in our deck, but I kind of like the Repeal. I guess the Repeal's not great, though, to be honest. Bounce plus card draw, though. It's like, it's tough to deny bounce plus card draw. I love how everything flips Delver, pretty much. Look at this. So many. I guess Pyromancer is good with the hero. Something to consider. I guess Vortex is kind of a nombo with Batter Skull, so that's a reason to not do that. I mean, I could just slam the Cackler because it's a 1-drop, but it's pretty underwhelming in the late game. Same with Chainwalker. Hence why I keep coming back to Smash. All right. God, Dak too, though. How good is Dak? Probably a better sideboard card. Probably. I'm going to take the Smash. Can't help myself. All right. So fair amount of blue, fair amount of red. We've already got 3 of both. So what do they say? 6 and 8. So 9 sources of blue and 11 sources of red. I don't mind doing 10-10. 10-10 feels like I see both colors pretty frequently. I need double for both colors, so I'm going to go 10-10. That's a pretty good split of lands, to be honest. All right. Well, I don't know how good this deck is, but it looks good. I mean, at the very least, it looks like what I like to play, which is very aggressive. So we'll see how we do with this, and we'll see you round 1.